What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all enjoying your week and you're getting ready for a very, very exciting weekend full of wrestling. This is NYG Jeffy85 here, and I'm bringing you the WrestleMania Night 1 and 2 lineups, preview, and predictions for WrestleMania 39 that was going to be taking place in Hollywood, California, Los Angeles on April 1st and April 2nd. The correlation of one whole year of storylines, feuds, matchups, championships, all of it is coming together for a big, big night of wrestling. WrestleMania 39 is here, everybody. And oh, what a year it's been. What a year it's been. This has been one of the most intriguing storylines of some of the intriguing years of wrestling I've seen in a long time. And a lot of it has to do with one of the biggest storylines that is going to be eventually coming to an end or starting a new chapter. And that's the Bloodline with Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, the Usos, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman. All of it is coming to an end. But first off, before I get into any of my previews and predictions, I'm going to just run down the official card for both Night 1 and Night 2 for this upcoming weekend. For Night 1, it's going to be kicked off by the United States Championship match between Austin Theory and John Cena, followed by Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the Smackdown Women's Championship. Then you have the Undisputed Tag Team Championships, Usos, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. You have Trish Stratus and Lita and Becky Lynch taking on Damage Control in a 6-woman tag match. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. And you have the Fatal 4-Way, Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders versus the Alpha Academy. And then on Night 2, you have the WWE Universal Championship match, which is going to be the main event of the entire weekend. Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, the leader of the Bloodline, taking on the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, for the WWE Universal Championship. You have the Raw Women's Championship match between Bianca Belair and Asuka. You have a triple threat Intercontinental Championship match between Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus. You have a Hell in the Cell match between Edge and Finn Balor, Brood Edge versus Demon Finn Balor, a Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team matchup between Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan versus Shotzi Blackheart and Natalya versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green, and then you have Brock Lesnar versus Omos. That is your rundown of the entire card. And I'll try to make each of the builds up for the matches somewhat brief, a quick little preview, and then get right into the predictions of what I think is going to happen during WrestleMania 39 weekend and who is going to be winning each matchup and who might be becoming champion. Obviously, I'll start out with Night 1. John Cena and Austin Theory. Everybody's been comparing Austin Theory as the next John Cena. And since Austin Theory has dropped that briefcase during that Monday Night Raw cash-in where he tried to cash in on Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins, Austin Theory has looked like the future. Austin Theory has looked like the man. Austin Theory looks like the next coming of the next big face in the WWE, of the company. And we all know what John Cena has done. These two guys have been calling each other out on social media, and they've even had a recent promo with one another ever since. This is going to kick off WrestleMania weekend. I'm very intrigued on how this matchup is going to go. You have the future against the past. You have one face of the company versus the future face of the company. I think this is going to be a good match. I think this is going to be a big matchup for Austin Theory. And I think in the end, Austin Theory is ultimately going to come out and retain the United States Championship. I do. This is going to be a stepping stone to take that next step as a wrestler. Austin Theory will be the United States Championship and will retain his title. the Smackdown Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. This is a rematch from the WrestleMania 36 matchup that happened in the Thunderdome in the empty arena when Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley faced each other for the NXT Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley was an up-and-comer. Charlotte Flair was already an established star. And we all know what happened. Charlotte Flair ended up winning the NXT Women's Championship. And not a lot of people, including myself, were not happy about that result. But it's been 3 years since. Rhea Ripley has had the best character work of her career, and she has now transformed herself into arguably the best women's wrestler in the company. And Charlotte Flair, since she came back from a hiatus after having a feud with Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship, got her title back, and she's going to be looking to see if she can take down Ripley again. In my opinion, there is no result that needs to happen but Rhea Ripley becoming the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Nothing else needs to happen except Ripley winning that title. If she doesn't, I don't know what the hell WWE Creative is thinking. Rhea Ripley is going to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. You can bank it. This is one of the biggest locks, in my opinion, of the entire weekend. Rhea Ripley will become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Lock it up. Throw away the key. There is no reason why Charlotte should win this match. Trish Stratus and Lita and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control. We all know what happened a couple of weeks ago. Damage Control took on Trish Stratus and Lita and Becky Lynch for the tag team titles. This has been a long-standing feud, especially between Bayley and Becky Lynch, that has been going back since the end of 2022. Two of the four horsewomen. Becky Lynch and Bayley even had a steel cage matchup. And they even had a tag team matchup against Damage Control in which Trish Stratus came out and helped Damage Control lose their titles to Becky Lynch and Lita. Now, you have the 6-woman tag match. Damage Control has been one of the deadest groups in WWE since they were formed last year at SummerSlam. Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch. They're a powerful trio right now. I don't know who's going to end up winning this match, but my intrigue is what's going to happen afterwards because of the promo that was cut this past Monday, where Bayley pretty much said that Trish Stratus is like pretty much playing second fiddle. In my opinion, I think Damage Control is going to win this match, and I think it's going to have a lot to do because Trish Stratus is going to turn heel on Lita and Becky Lynch, and Damage Control will get the win. Is it going to help that group? Absolutely not. But it's going to lead to a feud between Becky and Trish, maybe with Lita Incorporated, that's going to lead into SummerSlam. So I have Damage Control picking up the victory over Trish, Becky, and Lita. Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. This has been a social media type thing that's been going on. So Logan Paul has had some very impressive matchups in WWE since he faced off against The Miz on a one-on-one matchup at WrestleMania last year. His Saudi Arabian WWE Universal Championship match he had against Roman Reigns at the Saudi Arabia show. And now he's got a big match against Seth, and we all know how over Seth is. Seth's been one of the best things in WWE for a while. I think this is going to be one of the underrated show stealers of the entire weekend. And if I had to pick, I'm going with Seth. Seth is so over right now. Seth is going to be over. Logan Paul, I heard there's been conflicting reports about Logan Paul's contract with WWE potentially coming to an end after WrestleMania 39. I think Seth's going to win. Seth has got to win this matchup. Build him up. Get him ready for what he's going to be doing after WrestleMania 39. Seth, to me, has got to win. I think this could steal the show of the entire WrestleMania weekend. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. Another one of these matchups that has been built for over a year. Ever since Dominic turned on Rey at Clash at the Castle last year during the spring. This has been a feud that has been building up when both men were on Raw. And then Rey moved over to SmackDown. But you still see these little vignettes and these skits that WWE has been doing. Whether it's been Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, all through. And it's all led up to this. Dominic versus Rey. Father versus son. This, in my opinion, has been one of the best stories WWE has been telling all year. In my opinion, I'd probably say it's the second best story behind the Bloodline and what's been going on with that whole storyline. This has been the second best storyline WWE's been telling all year. And in my opinion, this has got to be Dominic that's got to go over his father. Whether it's a retirement or not, Rhea is actually going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this weekend. Is this going to be a retirement match? I don't know. But either way, this is going to be one of the most underrated matchups of the entire weekend. And I think, in the end, Dominic is going to end up beating his father at WrestleMania 39. The Fatal 4-Way matchup. Braun Strowman and Ricochet, Street Profits and Viking Raiders versus Alpha Academy. They had a 4-on-4 matchup, which was great on Monday Night Raw. All 8 of these men can get it done in the ring. They all are over with the fans. But in my opinion, who I think is going to come out as the victor in this matchup, I am going with the Viking Raiders. Alpha Academy seems like they're destined for a breakup because Otis has been teasing realigning with the Maximum Male Models. And Chad Gable might be rumored to be on his own. Ricochet and Braun Strowman are just a patchwork tag team. I think eventually they're going to break off and go on their own. And the Street Profits have even been teasing some potential breakups between Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Viking Raiders, in my opinion, are the team that has the biggest benefit of winning this matchup. Give them a showcase and let them win. I'm going with the Viking Raiders to win this Fatal 4-Way. And then the biggest matchup, in my opinion, of the entire weekend. The best build, the best correlation of a feud. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships. The best storyline the WWE's been telling all year since they put Sami Zayn involved with the Bloodline. You could just talk about how this storyline has been built the entire time. From Sami Zayn teaming up with the Bloodline, turning on Kevin Owens, everything that happened, Elimination Chamber. Obviously, before that, what happened at War Games, the build-up that they've had, the Usos coming back together, the bloodline becoming whole again, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn teaming back up again to fight for the greater good, and now you're getting this big-time tag team championship match. And I believe, like most people believe, you're going to get the correlation of new WWE Universal Tag Team Champions at WrestleMania 39. Owens and Zayn will win the tag team titles in what is going to be one of the biggest moments, one of the best matchups of the weekend, and is going to put together one of the greatest moments in WWE history, seeing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn dethrone the year-plus long reign of the Usos for the WWE Universal Tag titles. And that is night 1 in a nutshell. Now I'm going to get to night 2. Bianca Belair and Asuka. 2 of the best women's wrestlers in the WWE. Now, in my opinion, the build has sucked. The build has not been good. But these 2 women, when you put them in the ring and you just let them go for 10, 15, 20 minutes, they are going to put together a banger of a match. This could easily be another one of those matches that steals the weekend. There's a lot of matches on this card that could steal the WrestleMania weekend. This is one of them. And I have no doubt that these 2 women are going to go out there and put on an absolute wrestling clinic. I think they're going to outshine what any other women's match is going to happen this weekend. I do. And in the end, I'm going with Asuka as the new Raw Women's Champion. Bianca has held that title for 1 year. She is the longest reigning women's champion in a long time. Longest reigning Black women's champion ever. And she deserves it for everything that she's done. But I think it's Asuka's time. I think Bianca has held that title with grace, but I believe it's Asuka's time to become champion. And I'm going with Asuka to become the new Raw Women's Champion. Brock Lesnar and Omos. Honestly, I could give 2 craps about this match. I think it's just on the card for show. I think it's just on the card because Vince McMahon, who is partially running creative, he wants to get these 2 on. There's been rumors about Brock Lesnar potentially calling it quits after this. He might be retiring. And maybe this is just a way for Brock Lesnar to get one last hoorah in the WWE. And Maybe, or it's another way for him to put over Omos and give Omos a big victory. I don't know. Not a lot of people care about this match. But either way, I'm going with Omos to win the match. Yes, I actually said it. I can't believe I actually said it. But I'm picking Omos to win this match. Fatal 4-Way women's matchup. I talked about the men a little earlier. Now here's the women's. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan versus Shotzi Blackheart and Natalya versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. Originally it was going to be Carmella and Chelsea Green, but Carmella was pulled. Not sure what the reason is. Hopefully she's okay. All these teams are just pretty much thrown together. There's no true tag team here. I mean, you could say Ronda and Shayna are the closest thing to a tag team. And if I had to pick who was going to win this match, Ronda's out going into this match with a fractured, broken arm right now. So you have to wonder how much Ronda's going to be able to do in this tag match. But just like for something that makes sense, I'm going to go with Ronda and Shayna because they're leading these two to be the next women's champion. So I'm going to go with Ronda and Shayna to win this tag team matchup. If it wasn't for them, I'd be strongly leaning towards Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan because I believe that those are the two next women that WWE is looking to build up as two of the next biggest women in that division on Raw and SmackDown. But if I had to pick, I'm going with Ronda and Shayna to become the new, or to win this matchup in this Fatal 4-Way. Edge versus Finn Balor, Hell in a Cell. I'd argue this or Dominic and Rhea have been the best build for the WrestleMania. Ever since these two started feuding all the way back in May of last year. When Finn Balor made his return, was joining the Judgment Day, and he, along with Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, turned on Edge. This has been something that has been building for a year. A year. With matchups at Elimination or Extreme Rules, Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley versus Edge and Beth Phoenix. Since Royal Rumble when Edge made his return. Elimination Chamber, you had the tag matchup. And then it all comes down to this. Hell in the Cell. Edge and Finn. Brood Edge versus Demon Finn. Would you have it any other way? I sure as hell wouldn't. And in my opinion, if I'm going to pick who's going to win this match, I am going with the Demon. I am taking Finn Balor to win this matchup because Edge doesn't need the win. Finn just coming off a loss. You can build up Finn Balor and give him major credibility by having him beat Edge in Hell in the Cell. I'm going with Finn to win this matchup. I think he can steal the WrestleMania weekend. I'm going with Finn Balor. In my opinion, the third most anticipated matchup I'm looking forward to all weekend, the Intercontinental Championship match. Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Three of the hardest hitting wrestlers in the entire WWE. And if anybody remembers what Gunther and Sheamus did all the way back at Clash of the Castle, where they beat the living hell out of each other, and what you can argue as the best wrestling match of the entire year for WWE. These three men are going to go out there and they're going to give you a classic of brutality, hard-hitting, old-school, physical wrestling match for the Intercontinental Championship, the Workhorse Championship, for a workhorse, brutal, big-time matchup. I think this matchup is going to potentially steal the show too. I've said that multiple times, but there's a lot of matches on this damn card that could steal the show. But this is going to be easily the hardest-hitting matchup of the entire weekend, and if I had to pick it, to me, Sheamus is going to become the new Intercontinental Champion. It's the only title he's never won in his long career with WWE. 10-plus year WWE career. He's done everything else. He's won everything else. This is the one thing he has not done yet. And I have a feeling it's going to become in a correlation on night 2. Sheamus will become the new WWE Intercontinental Champion. I think Drew is going to get pinned. And I think Gunther is going to start getting ready for his main event push towards the WWE Universal Championship. And then the last match of the card, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. It's been a short build that has picked up recently. Roman Reigns is going on 950 days as WWE Universal Champion. 900 days. 900 plus days since he won the championship all the way back in Extreme Rules in 2020 against Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. That's how long Roman Reigns has had the championship. Through all these trials and tribulations, the greatest run, the final boss, the greatest championship run in WWE history has been Roman Reigns, and what he's done is the tribal chief, the head of the table, the leader of the bloodline. All of this could be coming to an end on Sunday night in the main event. Cody and Roman, the biggest championship match in a very long time in terms of WrestleMania. This is a tough one because it can go literally either way. You can literally flip a coin on this one, on who should win and who will win. But if I honestly had to pick, I know WWE loves their numbers, and because of the fact the storyline still could use a little bit more building, and I would love to see Cody Rhodes continue his story chasing against Roman, I'm going with Roman Reigns to retain the WWE Universal Championship match in what should be a phenomenal matchup and should continue the story going into the summer months. This should be a great match, and it's going to cap off what I believe is going to be the best WrestleMania weekend in a very long time. I have so much promise for WrestleMania 39. The way that Triple H has booked this show, the way that some of these storylines are going to be coming to an end, I think WrestleMania 39 is going to be talked about as one of the greatest WrestleMania weekends of all time. Because the matches alone, some of the build has been lackluster. I will admit, the build has been lackluster for some of these feuds. But matches alone is going to make WrestleMania 39 one of the greatest WrestleMania weekends of all time. When it's all said and done, when we get to late Sunday night. But I want to know what your predictions are, your previews, and what matchups you're looking forward to the most going into WrestleMania 39 weekend. And as always, please hit that like button if you haven't already, and give a sub to NYGJeffyT85 for more news, updates, and chatter surrounding the WWE. And turn on that bell for notifications on when the next video or short are going to be dropping on the channel surrounding the WWE. And you guys let me know in the comment section, like I mentioned, what's your favorite matchup or matchups you're looking forward to this weekend for WrestleMania 39 nights 1 and 2. Who do you think is going to win? What surprises we might get, because we could get some surprises coming along with wrestlers that have been gone, debuts, returns, call-ups, etc. What are you looking forward to the most going into WrestleMania 39? And give me all your previews and predictions going into this amazing WrestleMania 39 weekend. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. Take it easy, and let's see what WrestleMania 39 has got cooking up for us this entire weekend of WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood, California.